The HTML class generates HTML tables from arrays or database result sets. The table class is initialized in the controller using this load library table. Once it's loaded, it can be accessed using this table. While I can technically call the library class from within the controller, it's best practice to keep display in the view. Going back to the IDE, I'm going to take a look again at the magazine controller index method. Right now, there's a bunch of hard-coded stuff. Instead, I'm going to replace it with something a lot more flexible. I'll start by loading the library for table. This load library table. Next, I'm going to build an array of magazines for the table library to render. Magazines equals array. I'll load the models for both the issue and the publication by passing an array. This load model, then array containing issue and publication. Then I'll get all the issues that are known in the database. Issues equals this issue get. For each issues as issue, instantiate a publication. Publication equals new publication. Load it with a publication ID from the issue, so publication load issue publication ID. Then add an array to the magazines array with the values in the following order. So magazines equals array, publication, publication name, the issue, issue number, and issue, issue date publication. Finally, pass the magazines view a variable with the magazines. We can remove all this data and then pass magazines, an array containing magazines and the contents of magazines. We no longer need the single display of the magazine, so just delete it and save. Next, I'll go to the magazines view. I don't have to do anything to initialize the table. It's already been done. However, I do want to set a header row, and I'll use a method called setHeading to do that. It just sets th elements with a string that I specify. Open up PHP, this table, set heading, publication, issue, and date. I'll pass the magazines variable to the table generation method and echo the result. Echo this table generate magazines. That's all that's needed. Save, then go to the browser and refresh. I see a nice table of issues listed. View the source. Notice that it's even creating a proper T-head and T-body using TH for the headers. You can probably believe the number of times that I've written that markup by hand. This is very convenient. Close the source. The application is coming along nicely. I'm building in some increasingly usable functionality, but it's still looking kind of, well, unstyled. Let's add Twitter Bootstrap to the mix to improve the look and feel. To save time, I performed a little customization to the Twitter Bootstrap to separate things out and implemented a bare-bones navigation system. Open up your exercise files and copy the folder named Bootstrap to Sandbox into Application, Views. Then copy CSS, Image, and JS and put that in the web root. Going back to the IDE, let's take a look at the magazine controller. Note that since I put the Bootstrap into a folder, I'm going to start the view name with the name of the folder / then the name of the actual view. This load view bootstrap / header. And then add at the very end the footer. I'm going to do the same for the add method with a header and the footer. Save, then reload the browser. Things should look a lot better now with standardized styling. If I go to add a magazine, the error messages will look properly styled. I'll try adding a magazine. Sandy Shore issue number 4, published in 2013-04-01, and save. Cool, the success message is also properly styled. In this chapter, I've defined what CodeIgniter libraries are and how to use them. I then created a form to add magazines. With that form, I validated user input using the form validation library, then securely took user input and saved it in the database. Finally, I listed the saved magazines using HTML tables. Libraries are a useful collection of tools in CodeIgniter, but they're not the only collection. There are also helpers, which serve a different purpose.